Today on the WJLE Preacher Feature, we are featuring Brother Sam Ordung, and he is the pastor of the Dowelltown United Methodist Church. Good to have you with us today.
Thank you, sir.
You're also a pastor of a couple other churches in the area as well, right?
Yes, sir. So in the Methodist tradition, we unite churches to equal a full-time charge. So you've got Dowelltown, which is the real visible one right off there of 70, but if you go back in the hill further, we have Fuller's Chapel, and then a little further back over in the Kaplinger Holler, we have Pisgah United Methodist there as well. So I'm there at all three. So if you can find whatever you want to between the three congregations, whatever you're looking for.
How long have you been in our community?
I guess at this point we're about a year and 9 months, and I'll be here, we know, at least for the next year and a half. So
Yeah.
we're in good position going forward.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Sam Ordung. Where are you from originally?
Well, I was born and raised in South Florida. So if you see anybody wearing Miami Hurricanes gear around town, that's probably me. I can't shake that. And we moved up here to Tennessee, where my mom's family's from, in about '96. And so we've been in Franklin really ever since. I was really big into gymnastics, and so I was homeschooled throughout high school, and I went to the University of Nebraska to compete on their gymnastics team with Coach Chuck and Coach Francis up there, and so I was with them for 3 years. And then I've come home, and I went to Vanderbilt Divinity School to get my master's in divinity as I've gone through the ordination process in the Methodist Church. And I guess also in the midst of that, I've been in the Army now about 11 years, so I function currently as a chaplain in the U.S. Army Reserves, and part of our unit is currently deployed in this moment. So they'll be coming home here in about 28 days, so it'll be good to have that group coming back. So we juggle a few hats.
You do, and you told me earlier that have done a little coaching too.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. So I currently coach over at Hillsborough High School there in Green Hills in Nashville. I'm over all of our sports, strength and conditioning wise. So we've got boys football, boys track, boys basketball. I've got all the female athletes from volleyball and basketball and softball after that. So it's a wide gamut
Yeah.
of bodies and personalities, but it's fun. They're a good group.
So growing up, you went to school some in South Florida, and then here in Middle Tennessee in the Franklin area. Then,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Went to high school there.
Yeah. So I was actually homeschooled.
Oh, homeschool. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Part of gymnastics coaches want you to train 20 hours a week. So
Yeah.
hard to juggle that by being at school.
Right. Okay. So
So-
what led you to get into the ministry?
Well, that's kind of a multi-layered answer, but in reality, I was born and raised in church, and since a young age, my grandma's been telling me that's what I was meant to do. That was what I was meant to be. I'm named Sam because my mom struggled trying to have kids and prayed to have kids, and kind of part of her prayer, she latched on to the prayer of Hannah there and in 1 Samuel, and basically prayed that God, if you'd give me a son, I'll name him Samuel, and I'll give him back to your service. So it's kind of been part of just how I was raised in a lot of senses. And so to a degree, I've run with that and followed that call. And although I've tried to do a lot of other things, whether that be the military or coaching or other avenues of life, I just can't deny the fact that being in the church and being in that context and that world and those conversations, that's home.
Yeah.
And you go where home is.
So, are you married with children?
Yeah, well, no kids yet. So I've, me and my wife, Carissa, I met her while I was up in school at Nebraska, and was able to get her down to the South, where people were meant to live. And we've been married a little over a year, but yeah, no kids yet. She works at Caterpillar Financial just in Nashville. She's a data scientist with them, so I am not good at math at all, but she is math, and numbers all the way.
Yeah. So, how do you like it here?
I think it's great. After being, raised in Franklin and Nashville, and seeing Franklin and Nashville grow and get crazy big, and traffic just to struggle to get anywhere, it's kind of nice to be out here where it's green again, where it's hills. Yeah, you can't deny everything we have access to. So I'm trying to get more of my friends to come out here this summer, and whether that's beyond the river or beyond the lake or just be outside, there's so many things about it out here that you can't. That reminds me a lot of what like Franklin used to be back in the 90s,
Yeah.
before it became Nashville South.
And this is your first pastor position? Is that
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Lead pastor?
Yeah. So when I came here in June of 2017, that was the first position the Methodist Church has appointed me to. So yeah.
Yeah.
And they've put up with me in my rookie mistakes at times, but it's been I couldn't have asked for a better first one.
Tell us a little bit about the churches you serve.
Okay. So like I said earlier, between the three, you can find any type of demographic or age group you're looking for. There at Daltown, we've got about 40 some odd people, a lot of young families. There's a narrative that rural churches are older and dying and families are leaving, and you don't see that in our churches. We got a lot of young families, a lot of kids in middle school and high school, and that's a awesome thing to see, especially as we can kind of get with our youth and plan to do a lot of things this summer and activities. Fuller's a little bit further back, is an older crowd. It's if you want a group of 10 to 12, 16 older folks, that's them. But I always describe Fuller's as comfort church. If you think of comfort foods, Fuller's is comfort church. They're a great group. And then Pisgah, further out than that, is a mini version of what Daltown is. A wide cut, a lot of young families, a lot of people that are just getting married or about to get married and having their first kids. And so Pisgah's real interesting. We've got about six kids that are just learning to walk. So when you come to service there, we've got babies running running everywhere. And it's a really fun group. But yeah, no, they're great people that have all been here, and some great stories throughout all of it.
So, of course, your main worship times are obviously, I guess, Sunday morning and night and Wednesday night?
Yeah, so Sunday morning we have 9 o'clock there at Daltown. And then I'll drive to Fuller's, and typically I'm at Fuller's at about 10:15. And then we finish up Fuller's, and I drive over to Pisgah, and I get to Pisgah about 11:20, 11:30. They're flexible with me on that. Then Wednesday nights we have changing programs, whether that's we got a women's Bible study that meets on the first and the third Sunday. We do a lot of youth activities on Sunday nights. We're starting up a kind of an open boot camp and yoga for the community on second and fourth Sundays there. And then Wednesdays are our traditional Bible study night there at Daltown. That's at 6:30. Our youth choir is at 6, right there before. And then one Sunday a month, we rotate it. We have a prayer service, and it's a little more colloquial. It's a little more relaxed, but it's a time to just reflect, contemplate. We use testimonies in that time, and people just need prayer. Just a time to be a community of faith and lay on of hands, and that rotates between the three on Sunday nights as needed.
So great. So if anyone's looking for a church home, come to see you folks at Daltown.
We got a good
Fuller's
group.
or Mount Pisgah, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
And my house is right next door to the church, so I'm either in the church vacuuming, cleaning, or reading, in the house eating, or out visiting people.
Yeah.
So between the three, I'm right around there all the time.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, and we're glad to have you in our community, and we wish you much success and wish you well in the future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.